Hello and welcome here to KBC News, where we cover your daily soccer headlines. Today we cover the headlines one day into the transfer window, so let's get into that now. Not much to cover for you today, but we do have a statement from the Borussia Dortmund board saying, quote, "We would like to reach the semifinals in the Domestic Cup, win the Bundesliga, and reach the semifinals of the Champions Cup. It's as simple as that." Again, not much to cover for you here today on July 3rd, but we do have some news out of Manchester City. They're looking to bolster their back four by inquiring about Thiago Silva from PSG and Mats Hummels of Dortmund. A ton of news for you here today on July 4th. A lot of news out of Dortmund especially. Dortmund made a lot of inquiries about players that they wanted. Hanover wants 10 million for Diouf, 10 mil for Adrian Ramos, 23 million for Shinji Kagawa, 12 million for Ginter, and 8.5 for Daniel Agger. Also in Europe, Newcastle is targeting Giroud. Real Madrid is looking to bolster their attack by targeting Suarez and Aguero, and Bayern is confirming Luis Suarez talks. And all the rumors stop on July 4th, because here on July 5th, we only have one thing to tell you about, and that's an inquiry made by Borussia Dortmund. Choupo-Moting, Mainz wants 4.2 million for the Cameroonian. We have our first major signing to tell you about today, but we'll get to that in a second. Manchester City offered 17 million euros for Mats Hummels, but Dortmund rejected that offer straight up. Bayern and Liverpool are still talking about Suarez, and here's the big signing. Tottenham win the race for Seydou Doumbia by paying 22.5 million euros, so that is by far the most expensive transfer of the window so far. Rumors dying down here on July 9th, as we only have one new thing to tell you about. Manchester United and Bayern have started talks about center back Jerome Boateng. We have another big signing for you here on July 10th, as AC Milan have sealed Swansea's Michu for 11.5 million. That's only the second double-digit signing of the window so far. We've got another offer regarding Dortmund here on July 11th. Hertha Berlin has offered 3.1 million for Julian Schieber, the striker, and Dortmund has countered with an offer of 4 million. Dortmund players staying in the news today, as Freiburg has offered $325,000 for veteran Oliver Kirch. Dortmund countered with an offer of 400,000. Kirch was transfer listed on the first day of the window. A whole bunch of news for you here on July 13th, so we'll get right into it now. Hertha Berlin has matched the 4 million counter for Julian Schieber, so they're going to go ahead with that deal. Real Madrid is going to target Robert Lewandowski. Lille and Arsenal are in Giroud talks. Atletico Madrid are looking at Toni Kroos and Bastian Schweinsteiger to strengthen their midfield, and Inter has started talks with Porto for striker Jackson Martinez. Some more Dortmund news for you here on July 14th. Hanover has dropped the Diouf price to 7.5 million. Mainz has dropped the Choupo-Moting price to 3.2 million. Freiburg has dropped the Ginter price to 9 million. And Liverpool has accepted a lowball offer of 5.5 million for Daniel Agger. Some surprising news here on July 16th. Manchester United has accepted a very lowball offer of 12 million for Shinji Kagawa. They were wanting 23 million at the start of the transfer window. Wolfsburg are in talks with Chelsea over Fernando Torres, and Peter Cech and Igor Akinfeev are being targeted by Juventus. More Dortmund news for you here today. On July 17th, Julian Schieber has officially joined Hertha Berlin for a fee of 4 million, and Freiburg has accepted a 7.25 million euro offer for Matthias Ginter. Even more Dortmund news for you here today on July 18th. Real Madrid has offered 44.5 million euros for Robert Lewandowski, but Dortmund rejected that straight away. And Daniel Agger has declined a Dortmund contract, saying, quote, "I want a bigger role than what they're offering." You guessed it, even more Dortmund news here on July 20th. Manchester United offered 21.5 million euros for Mats Hummels, and Dortmund rejects that. Shinji Kagawa rejects a contract, saying, quote, "I want to know how much I will be used." And Matthias Ginter officially signs for Dortmund for a fee of 7.25 million euros. Here on July 21st, the Agger deal has fallen through due to the Ginter signing. As Dortmund said at the beginning of the year, they were only going to sign one center back. And Real Madrid are still keen on Suarez and Aguero. Some massive news for the Bundesliga today here on July 22nd. But first, Napoli has offered $9 million for Lucas Piszczek, but Dortmund rejected that outright. But here's the huge news. Bayern Munich grows even deadlier by signing Luis Suarez for $44.5 million. And by deadly, we don't mean like soccer deadly, we mean like vampire deadly. I'm just kidding. But what a signing for $44.5 million. Another big signing here on July 23rd, but first, Tarek Grozny is offered $325,000 for Oliver Kirch. Dortmund countered with $350,000. Javier Hernandez has signed with Valencia for $16.5 million. And finally, Liverpool has started to target Arturo Vidal. More Dortmund news here today on July 24th. Mainz has accepted a $3 million bid from Dortmund. This deal will only go through if the Kagawa deal falls through. Big Dortmund news today on July 25th. Hanover has accepted a €7 million bid for Diouf, and Shinji Kagawa has officially rejoined Dortmund for a €12 million fee. Not as much news here on July 26th. Tarek Grozny has matched a $350,000 counter from Dortmund for Oliver Kirch, and Sevilla are going to target Mario Mandzukic, who is likely on his way out of Bayern after the signing of Luis Suarez. We are almost upon the opening preseason game for Dortmund, but we got more Dortmund news for you here on July 27th. Choupo-Moting deal falls through due to the Kagawa deal. We already knew about that, but that became official today. And here's some surprising news. Sebastian Kell is contemplating retirement at this season's end. We'll get through these headlines quickly just before the preseason match of PSG versus Dortmund at Signal Iduna Park here on July 29th. But first, we'll get through the headlines. Oliver Kirch has officially signed as a Tarek Grozny player for €350,000. And Edin Dzeko has gone from Man City to Arsenal for $13.5 million. Now, after getting you these headlines, we'll send you to Signal Iduna Park for today's PSG Dortmund match. It's a beautiful night for football here at Signal Iduna Park for today's first preseason match between Borussia Dortmund and PSG. So we're just about set to kick off, so we'll get you the starting lineups. For Dortmund, we got Lewandowski up front with new signing Kagawa at left mid, Royce at cam, and Hoffman at right. We got Amini and Kell at the CDM spots, Eric Durm at the left back spot, Ginter and Socrates as center backs, and Hornska at right back, with Roman Weidenfeller at goalie. And now PSG. PSG has Cavani up front with Lavezzi at left and Lucas on the right. We've got Matuidi, Cabaye, Mata, and then we have Digne at left back, Marquinhos at center back along with Thiago Silva, and then Jolet at right back, and then we have backup goalkeeper Dia at goalkeeper. The ref blows his whistle, and we're underway here in the preseason of the 2013-14 season. Jolet, the right back, moving up. He's going to pass it out to Cabaye, who gives it into Mata. Thiago Mata misses the net. A prime chance for PSG to score early, but Thiago Mata puts that one wide. We'll take another look at here on a better angle, and he just tried to finesse that into the bottom left corner, but was unable to bury it. A corner now for PSG. Matuidi crosses it in, and the header from Cavani is saved by Weidenfeller. We get to see Shinji Kagawa back in his old colors, but that pass is intercepted and headed away, but it goes straight to another player, Lavezzi. Now Matuidi over the top, ball to Lavezzi. Lavezzi takes a touch and scores! Ezequiel Lavezzi scores to make it 1-0 PSG. What a goal. What an over-the-top ball from Matuidi. We're going to have to take another look at this. Matuidi doesn't even take a touch, just puts it right back over for Ezequiel Lavezzi. And Lavezzi takes a touch with his left foot and volleys it with his right foot. And Roman Weidenfeller didn't have much chance to stop that one. What a beautiful strike. Actually, Roman Weidenfeller got a hand to it, so he may have been able to stop that. A dangerous position for the free kick. Mata plays off for Cavani, Cavani being pressured over the top of the Lavezzi, who stopped the goal like clear for Socrates. It goes right to Digne, who scores. 2-0 PSG in the 34th minute. And the left back, Digne, scores off of the header. Hornska probably should have got that one, but he tried chesting it instead of going for the header away. Socrates clears it off of the wonderful Weidenfeller save on the first Lavezzi chance, but a poor effort from Hornschka makes this a 2-0 game. Digne to take the quick throw, and that's intercepted by Royce, heads it to Hoffman. Hoffman a quick pass up to Lewandowski, and that's going to mark the end of the first half. It's a 2-0 game for PSG. Borussia Dortmund hasn't really had any chances, not much possession as well. They're going to have a much better second half. I expect some halftime changes coming from Lucas Cushman. Now, as predicted, Lucas Cushman did make some changes, all 3 changes actually. Hornschka is coming on for Grosskreutz as we start the second half. Subotic is on for Ginter, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is on at the right mid spot for Jonas Hoffman. Lucas on the right hand side. He plays through the right back, Gillet. Durham chasing. Durham misses his tackle. Gillet into Lucas. Lucas passes it back out. Gillet the cross in to Cavani, but Matuidi plays it back in. Cavani stopped by Robin Weidenfeller, and that's cleared. And here comes PSG's first substitution. On comes the big Swede, Zlatan Ibrahimovic for Edinson Cavani. Gillet on the right hand side. He's going to play through Lucas. Lucas crosses it into Zlatan, who misses the net on the header. Now we have news of a substitution. Verratti is coming in for Kabai. Lewandowski. A through pass to Kagawa. Shinji Kagawa going to beat... Yes, he does beat Gillet. Going for the long shot and misses the net wide. Diao didn't even have to move, really. Shinji Kagawa just plainly missed that one. Maybe getting some first match jitters out of the way. First time back at home at Signal Iduna. I'm not sure. Gillet plays for Verratti. Verratti taking on Kagawa. Doesn't move. And he's going to cross this one into Zlatan, who misses the net on the volley. He barely missed, and he's frustrated with himself. But now we have a substitution. Pastoria is coming up for Ezequiel Lavezzi. But that's intercepted by Verratti. Matuidi plays Matuidi out to Pastore. Pastore plays it off to Digne. Digne passes it back to Matuidi. Matuidi gets challenged hard and he goes down. And Socrates is lucky that was outside the box, and he's going to be carded. That's going to be a yellow. I'd say that's very fair in the 88th minute. Socrates gets yellow carded, and that was a really bad challenge on Matuidi. As you see here, got none of the ball. Looked like he was going for the ankles to take him out. That was just a very poor challenge from Socrates. He should know better. The Greek international gets yellow carded. And here comes the free kick from Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan plays it into the middle. Thiago Motta scores! Puts it into the back of the net. And that puts this game beyond all doubt. In the 90th minute, it is now a 3-0 game. Thiago Motta scores off of the header. And Signal Iduna Park is silent. It may be just a friendly, but still, you like to see your home team win no matter what. Lucas Cushman is going to have to make some changes, especially after this performance, Kell with the ball. Sebastian Kell goes to take a touch, but that's intercepted by Gillet and out of play. Eric Durham to throw it in. He throws it into Kagawa, and that's the end of the first preseason match. Your final score, 3-0 for PSG here at Signal Iduna. A very good game from PSG, a very poor game from Dortmund. A lot to take away from this game, in my opinion. I think Cushman's got a lot more to do when it comes to the squad. So we'll see what will happen soon. But now we'll get you the match ratings, so we'll be there for that. Dortmund's highest rated player, was Socrates, with a 6.7 rating and a yellow card, which is basically the story of the game when your top player is a 6.7. Roman Weidenfeller had a good game, but his rating is brought down due to the fact that he allowed 3 goals. Some of the lower players include Grosskreutz at a 4 and substituted Ginter at a 5.4. And here's PSG. Your man of the match is PSG's Blaise Matuidi, who ended the match with a 9.3 rating. He is also the highest rated player with Thiago Motta coming up shy by 0.3. Pastore did not have a rating due to him coming in the 90th minute. Also, Gillet had an 8 rating. Ibrahimovic didn't have the best of games. He had a 6.3. Also, Lavezzi, one of the goal scorers, had a 7.3. And finally, before I say goodbye, we have your match facts. 3-0 was the final score. 12 shots to 1. Dortmund had none on target. Diao didn't have to save a single shot. Possession-wise, PSG has 60% in comparison to Dortmund's 40%. 3 fouls to 1 tackle, 3 fouls to 1 foul for Dortmund. Dortmund had 3 fouls, Dortmund didn't have a single corner, not a single offside. So I'd like to thank you for watching this episode. It takes a bit to get all the stories and that. It takes a while to sim through everything. So I'd really appreciate a like on this video. Sorry about the lack of uploads, as I've just said in the past Washington State video. But yeah, so I'd like to thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Goodbye.